Good evening, everyone. Today we will be discussing student work and how we can help our students improve on or challenge them on their work. The process of this meeting is to reflect on student work, learning development, and the next steps. We are doing this to create a structural environment for speaking and listening to figure out how students are processing their thinking. Some questions for everyone to think about tonight and to possibly touch upon are: after looking at the student's work, what do you think the student understands from each sample? What does this student work indicate? And what are the next steps to help these students? Our agenda for the night will be the following: looking at the student work from each third grade teacher's classroom and what is seen. From this, the group will interpret what the student's thinking process was during each of these exemplars, and then we will brainstorm as a group different ideas to help these students succeed. After that, teachers will reflect on what was discussed during the meeting and what they took away from it. Finally, we will debrief and go over if we thought this process was helpful or what we can be improved on it. Let's get started. Each teacher will have a turn to show their students' work and get feedback from their peers as to what they think could be helpful for their student. Broad questions may be asked. We should first start off introductions and who everyone will be during this discussion. My name is Hannah and I will be the facilitator. Now that we have some background on the students' work, this is a good segue for anyone who wants to point out what they saw, any observations that were made. What evidence do you have to support the claims that you have just made? Please be specific, as this could be helpful to all of us. Based off of what we've talked about this far, let's change the perspective of how we're looking at these examples. From the student's perspective, what is the student working on? In other words, is there any indication from the student's explanation of work as to why they answered their example in that particular way? After observing the point of view from teachers looking at student work, then looking at the student's point of view and interpreting what this all means, what are some implications that this work may have for teaching? Some questions to keep in mind are: what steps could the teacher take next with the student? What teaching strategies might be most effective? What else would you like to see in the student work? What kinds of assignments or assessment could be provided for this information? And lastly, what does this conversation make you think about in terms of your own practice, about teaching and learning in general? I just wanted to thank everybody for their time today. I think this was helpful to get other people's opinions on student work and how we can always keep improving and helping the students. Have a great rest of your evening.